Scratchman Apoo is coming to Zoe apparently, or at least was in contact with Jack. So if Jack's not responding, he's probably going to be like, we probably should check on Jack, and that'll lead him to Zoe, or at least an area close to Zoe. But it's great because I think, what was it? Neko Amushi said, if we don't figure out how they were able to find this place, we're going to have company soon. And so we know for a fact, this is amazing, because now it's confirmed that Apoo is working under Kaido. If you look at that, not Jolly Roger, the Dendenmushi at the end of the chapter, that Dendenmushi cannot belong to anybody but Apoo. I mean, who else has freaking piano teeth that we know of and says, he's like, Lord Kaido, our communications with Jack have been cut off at sea. Now, I don't know if Kid and Killer and obviously Hawkins is with him, but if that bunch gets to Zoe, man, if the Kid Alliance shows up, Kid is definitely going to want trouble. He's going to be like, what is this? What the fuck happened here? What happened here? Who did this? I'm pretty sure Kid wouldn't give a shit about Jack, though. He'd probably just be like, oh, such an embarrassment for a guy with a billion berry bounty. Like, this is just really embarrassing and shameful. Get the fuck out of here. But no, I mean, if he shows up, he might. I think there has to be a fight at this point because, this alliance, it's like, it's obvious now. Like, this is kind of confirmed. If Apoo is working under Kaido, it would follow that so is Hawkins, so is Kid, and so is Killer. I mean, because the three of them saw Kaido, well, four of them, if you count Killer, saw Kaido fall out of the sky when he was committing suicide, and they were like, who are you exactly? Like, the fuck? We're about to go and try and beat Shanks. Kaido was probably like, join me, for I will defeat the rest of the Yonko. And also, I will not rip your anuses apart for the time being. And, I can just imagine, like, Apoo and Hawkins being like, yes, master. Yes, Lord Kaido. Lord Kaido. The building that we see at the ending of the chapter is definitely, like, the snowy place. Like, that's a certain island in the New World with the little horns there is definitely Wano, right? I mean, because we've seen that island before, and that's where we saw Drake there, a couple of chapters back. So that's where Kaido is at the moment, because that's where he answers the phone call from. So definitely that last page for me was the best part of the chapter, in my opinion, because it kind of leaves the cliffhanger open to like getting a little bit more world building, which is an aspect that I absolutely love from the series. That being said, I think I spent too much time talking about that final page. But what do you guys think about Jack's defeat? Like, if we're going to assume that he fell into the water, then I guess he's pretty much dead because he's a devil fruit user. He has the mammoth, prehistoric Zoan type devil fruit. But then again, it's like, why did they show so much wreckage, Because it's like, he might be holding on to like a piece of wood or some shit. We just don't know at this point. But even then, let's say that he is alive and he's going to come back. He's already been wrecked by Fujitora, Tsuru, and Sengoku. And now he's been wrecked by Zunisha, and it's like, okay, you're definitely not at full, bro. If you want to get back to full, you need to go back to Wano and recoup so you can take on somebody when you're full, when you're, at full strength. Because now it's kind of like, I was expecting a fight, but then it's like, I don't know how that's going to happen at this point. It's like, you just got fucked. Like, I love how Zunisha's trunk, when it begins to move, it actually covers the sky, so everything turns dark and shit, and they're like, what's happening? What the f-? Now, this is the part that I found really interesting, because obviously, and we got some information about this in the previous chapters, like, just sprinkled in there, but, like, now it's confirmed that, like, Luffy and Momonosuke are, like, the only ones that can hear Zunisha's voice. I don't know, see, here's the thing, I don't know if Momonosuke has the ability to hear all things, like Roger did, because Luffy definitely has it. He's like, what's this voice? But the thing is, Luffy cannot command Zunisha. Only Momonosuke can do it. So I don't know if like that's somebody, if the instructions or the rule for Zunisha is that only somebody from Momonosuke's family line can give you commands. But anyway, it says, in the ancient past, Zoe committed a crime. Because of this, it was sentenced to walk for all eternity. So that's why he can't stop walking. That sucks. To only act at the behest of an order till the end of time. So could Momonosuke just tell Zunisha, hey Zunisha, we need a ride to Wano. Can you help us with that? Because imagine this big ass elephant going into Wano, rushing in there, destroying part of the border. You just like with its freaking tusks and trunk, just like breaking through that freaking wall. Zunisha, the wall was expensive. You're gonna have to pay for that. No, but seriously, it's interesting because like it does say like it committed a crime. What freaking crime did you to me, because it says in ancient times, I kind of get the feeling that Zunisha had a role in building the ancient weapons or something to that effect, because how funny would it be if like Zunisha was in charge of moving the material for the ancient weapons and Zunisha fucked up and they're like, you fucked up, we're gonna have to punish you, Zunisha. Or what if Zunisha is actually like a rejected version of an ancient weapon and they're like, you know what, you just didn't make the cut, Zunisha. I'm sorry. We could have considered you one of 4 major ancient weapons. It would have been Poseidon, Uranus, Pluton, and Zunisha. But Zunisha did something wrong, or she just didn't have what it took to become an ancient weapon. And that's why she's just, you're gonna have to walk. I'm sorry. And Zunisha got really upset and she tried to kill people or something. And that's why she has to walk. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. It's really interesting. This arc has been amazing thus far. But it's honest. Okay, so even despite this being the punishment for a crime that she just has to keep walking, it's obviously like something that they obviously valued her enough to have her carry one of the road poneglyphs. So it's not like, yeah, you suck, Zunisha. No, she doesn't suck. Her destruction capability is amazing. But I kind of wonder who did that to her, because in this chapter she pretty much uses the Rinnegan. Like she can basically convey what she sees to her master or to her commander, in this case Momonosuke. It's just crazy because it's like, I mean, who would have the power to curse this elephant to walk forever? Like it's nuts. Like who has that type of power? Somebody from the Ancient Kingdom, somebody from the Will of D family, perhaps. No, but it's interesting because Jack mentions that, I mean, if this thing has been alive for 1,000 years, it's probably rust. Like it's really old now, so we can mess it up a little bit here. But then if this is what Zunisha could do now in her old age, I don't know why I'm assuming that she's a female, but whatever. You could think about, well, if this is what she can do when she's old, really old, imagine what she could do during her prime, right? So that's just nuts. Also, it looked like the Minks were about to get involved with this shit, but I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad to a certain extent, I'm glad that this was resolved the way that it was, because the Minx trump card is definitely going to be needed in Wano, so I'm glad that they're saving that for that occasion. This chapter single-handedly makes Zunisha an invaluable source of information. She's kind of like Robin at this point. Like, Zunisha knows way, way more than she's ever going to say to people and stuff. So that's interesting because she can be a way for us to gain exposition about stuff that happened in the past. Specifically with Odin and Roger, or maybe even the freaking Void Century. I don't know. I wonder if Momo could be like, Zunisha, I command you, tell me everything you know about the ancient past. And then we'd just be in for a long, very long flashback. 1,000 years worth of a flashback. Imagine that. I've said this in the previous review already, but Luffy's kind of getting on my nerves a little bit because he just says, okay, I'm going to go get Sanji. Bye, guys. And he never leaves. Like, he just says he's going to leave, but he doesn't do it. In this case, he just brings up a bag. He's like, hey, give me some food. So he's kind of like, he's turning into that annoying relative that you see, like, for the holidays and stuff, and you accept them into your home because, it's a family holiday, so you don't want to be rude. But then they start getting drunk in the sofa, and they start talking about all this random shit, and they're like, oh, I'm about to leave. It's late. I should leave. And then they talk about something else and they don't fucking leave, like ever. Next thing you know, they wake up on your sofa scratching their balls or with your pillow in between their thighs. That being said, I really loved the color page for this chapter. It looked amazing. The colors were great. It obviously represents the team, like Sanji rescue team, whatever you want to call it. It's Luffy, Nami. Notice how Luffy is in gear 4th and then right below him is Nami. Shout out to Nami and Luffy. And then also Chopper and Brook. And then the Minx, as well as the Samurai and the Ninja. But it's all drawn in Japanese, traditional art style, and I really like that. Speaking of Nami and Luffy, the first page opens up with, everybody freaking out because, Zunisha's moving a lot. And you see, like, Usopp grabbing onto a tree. But if you look at Nami, Nami is grabbing onto Luffy's head and it's stretching backward. That was funny. That was cute. And then Zoro and Law are just standing there, like, because they're cool, right? They don't wanna hang on to anything. They're just so cool that they can defy gravity and shit. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. That being said, I like this chapter a lot. I know what happened wasn't what I expected, but it's still moving in the direction that I thought it would, because we get rid of Jack, and then the sooner we got rid of Jack, the sooner Luffy can go to Whole Cake Island, the sooner we go to Wano, and the sooner we can start, forging that path onto Raftel. So I thought this was a good chapter, guys. Tell me your thoughts down below. Comment, subscribe to my channel for more One Piece content. Catch you guys later. Thank you.